Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Kotal Khan or Nightwolf from Mortal Kombat, and like and subscribe for more ethical science next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Moira, everyone's favorite DPS character from Overwatch because she takes so much less time to queue up than the others. She's got a death ball, a death whip, she can teleport, and for some reason one of her hands is yellow. Don't know what that's for. Time to kill people.
I think I've been poisoned by my constituents! Oh my God!
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
Yeah, he's got an egg!
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need the Jump Rope of Death, a little beam that melts down our enemies while pumping us full of new HP. Well, not new HP, it's their HP, their old HP. It's recycling. Next, we need to yeet some death ahead of us with a cloud of death that can get things done while we patiently wait outside for everyone to die or run out with substantially less health for us to finish off. Finally, we'll get a giant laser that can blast through multiple enemies at once. Oh, and I guess we'll heal too, if the team is behaving themselves. For stats, we'll be using the standard point buy from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just make sure that you're a smart cookie. Put your intelligence at 15. Medicine is a wisdom skill, but science is an intelligence skill, probably. I usually call it Arcana, and let's be honest, the Hippocratic Oath is more like a guideline than a hard rule. Wisdom and dexterity can both be 14. You've got your medical license, and apparently got really into free running and anime in college as well. Put Constitution at 12. You're not the bulkiest character in the game, but you can take a few more hits than Tracer and will drop Strength and Charisma to 8. If you could lift things or explain your scientific advancements in a non-creepy way, you could have been on the varsity Overwatch squad. Instead, you're in the breakfast club that is Blackwatch. Reaper is Judd Nelson, McCree is Emilio Estevez, Genji is Molly Ringwald, and you're Ali Sheedy. Do not let Genji turn you into a prep. You are goth, and that is cool. Moira is a human, but she cosplays as David Bowie sometimes, so we'll go for custom lineage and grab the feat Fey Touched. This gives you the spell Misty Step, letting you teleport 30 feet as a bonus action, and another spell from the enchantment or divination list of first level. I'll grab Bane, which forces a charisma saving throw of 8 plus your proficiency bonus and intelligence modifier on up to 3 creatures. Failing that, they have a d4 penalty to their attack rolls and saving throws for the next minute, making half the enemy team just a little bit worse. The reason this uses your intelligence modifier is because I want it to. You get to pick a soft stat, bump it up by 1, and that's what you use to cast the spells. You can cast these once per long rest for free, then use the spell slots, making it infinitely better than Magic Initiate. Bump your dexterity up with your 2 free points, take acrobatics for your skill of choice, and the Simic Scientist background for medicine and arcana because you like to do the science and you don't like to ask yourself if you're playing God. It would be like asking if a rabbit enjoys pretending to be a rodent. We'll kick things off as an Artificer, letting us grab 2 skills from the Artificer list like Investigation and Perception. Call that Acute Attention to Detail. You also get proficiency with Tinkerers, Thieves, and another set of tools of your choice. We'll get Alchemists for now. Scoop up Calligraphy at level 3. We don't need to be OP right out the gate. You're a magical tinkerer, letting you put some magical stuff into tiny non-magical stuff, a tiny message, a puff of smoke, a little music, things like that. Almost like leaving your spray at the spawn to know your pub group only has 1 healer. I am kidding, of course. We'll start getting healing spells here like Cure Wounds, which heals 1d8 plus your intelligence modifier to creatures you touch. Technically, you shoot out some yellow smog, but it doesn't go very far. False Life lets you give yourself 1d4 plus 4 temporary HP. It's spooky HP, so it might make your hand look a little monstrous. For your cantrips, Spare the Dying stabilizes a creature at 0 HP, so they no longer roll death saves. You could heal them, or you could, try to super heal them by dragging them back to your lab and pumping them full of science juice. Really, it would be evil not to try and give them superpowers, when you think about it. Message lets you whisper a message to someone within 120 feet of you, and they can whisper back, but you'd have to be a true masochist to go into team chat when you're playing the healer. Second level Artificers get infusions, special toys to make you and your teammates a little cooler. Enhanced Arcane Focus adds 1 to the attack rolls of a spellcasting focus, and you can ignore up to half cover to land the bad circle with a bank shot. Mind Sharpener lets you succeed on a failed concentration check 1d4 times per day, recharging at dawn, which will be a little more useful when we're actually concentrating. Goggles of Night give you 60 feet of dark vision. I would imagine that Blackwatch is pretty regularly given the night shift, and Enhanced Armor adds 1 to the AC of a set of armor or a shield. I put your armor somewhere in the medium category. There are little metal bits and bobbins. Third level Artificers can choose a specialty. Alchemists normally get proficiency with alchemist supplies, but you've already got those, and you can choose something else like calligraphy. You know why a doctor's handwriting is illegible? It's because they're doing calligraphy with an imperceptible non-mortal language that only gods understand. You also get Healing Word, which heals 1d4 plus your intelligence modifier as a bonus action within 30 feet. so you can throw a healing ball a little bit downwind. Ray of Sickness is a ranged spell attack that deals 2d8 poison damage and forces a Constitution saving throw. Failing that, creatures are poisoned for a mini bad news ball. We'll get a better one in a second. You also get experimental elixirs that do different things depending on what the person who drinks them rolls. On a 1, they heal 2d4 plus your intelligence modifier. On a 2, they run 10 feet faster for an hour. On a 3, they get plus 1 AC for 10 minutes. On a 4, they can add a d4 to their attack rolls and saving throws for a minute. On a 5, they get a 10-foot flying speed for 10 minutes. And on a 6, they're under the effects of the Alter Self spell, either giving them a natural weapon that has plus 1 to attack and damage rolls and deals 1d6 damage, the ability to breathe and swim underwater, or change their appearance. If they roll a 7, they are cursed to never truly live or die, instead stuck in an eternal half-life of constantly melting and healing molecules with no respite from the pain. Thank God they only roll a d6. You have one of these elixirs per long rest, but can make more with first level spell slots if you want to give the team some juice boxes after their government destabilization practice. 4th level Artificers get an ability score improvement, get your intelligence modifier up. It's healing and harming all in the same score. It's almost like you're a cleric to the god of science. 5th level Alchemists are alchemical savants, letting you add your intelligence modifier to the damage of any acid, fire, necrotic, or poison spell, or to the healing you do with a healing spell once per turn. We're actually going to get something later that turns damage into health, so this is going to be extra fun then. You can also learn 2nd level Artificer spells here. Lesser Restoration lets you remove an effect of blindness, deafness, paralyzation, or poisoning. You could be a good doctor if you wanted to be, you just don't want to be. 6th level Artificers get Tool Expertise, letting you double your proficiency bonus with all the tools you're proficient with. Unfortunately, this doesn't double the proficiency bonus with the tools you're using as a spellcasting focus, because that would be incredibly busted on a class that's admittedly already pretty busted. You also get 2 more infusions here. Boots of the Winding Path let you teleport 15 feet as a bonus action on your turn, as long as you're teleporting to a place you've already been that turn. Did you round the corner and accidentally bump into the entire enemy team? We've all been there. Press the uh-oh button and get out. Spell Refueling Ring lets you restore a spell slot of 3rd level or lower once per day, effectively just giving you an extra 3rd level slot. So with this and Fey Touch, you basically have a free 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level slot to use every single day, just using some specific spells on the 1st and 2nd. It's pretty good. 7th level Artificers get Flash of Genius, letting you add your intelligence modifier to an ability check or saving throw a creature makes within 30 feet of you an amount of times per day equal to your intelligence modifier. Let Reaper know that the pro gamer hit the nuke button on her mech so he can ghost out of there. He'll thank you later in his own special, not thankful way. 8th level Artificers get another ability score improvement. Let's cap off our intelligence modifier and sign up with Talon, because even though Blackwatch is Overwatch's shadowy secret organization, they still have way too many rules that stop you from having fun. Wizards, on the other hand, no rules there, other than the rule with the spellbook that contains 6 spells of 1st level at level 1 that you can use to prepare a second list of spell from to actually cast equal to your wizard level plus your intelligence modifier. Damn, maybe there are rules everywhere. Longstrider lets you run like Naruto with 10 feet of extra movement speed for an hour. There's no shame in running away. You're not a tank. The tanks died because you were playing DPS. I mean, because they were bad, obviously. Tasha's Caustic Brew forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 30-foot line, dealing 2d4 acid damage to those that fail and another 2d4 each round until they use their action to wash it off. This would be a great way to toss the bad news ball, especially since it's one of few spells in the game to deal damage over time. Mage Armor gives a creature AC equal to 13 plus their dexterity modifier when they're not wearing armor, if you want to give one of your allies a little shadowy protection. Identify tells you what a magical item is and what it does, as well as how many charges it has left. Your new boss wants a death gauntlet, and he says he's going to let you play with the corpses he kills with it, so maybe work on grabbing one. Featherfall reduces falling damage for up to 5 falling creatures as a reaction, so Widow, Sombra, Reaper, Taser, and Blazer will all be safe. There's no falling damage in Overwatch. Obviously, that just means that every team comp has someone spamming Featherfall off screen. Expeditious Retreat lets you dash as a bonus action for up to 10 minutes, depending on your concentration, but it only works if you hum your favorite OST while you do it. For your cantrips, Chill Touch should be called Unchill Touch because it's a touch that isn't very chill. It's a ranged spell attack that deals 2d8 necrotic damage and prevents the target from healing. Poison Spray is much more accurately named, forcing a Constitution saving throw and dealing 2d12 poison damage to a creature if they fail. Light lets you see in the dark with your dumb human eyes. I know you have goggles of night, but for some reason your hand keeps glowing yellow. What's that for? It doesn't deal damage. What a mystery. All wizards get Arcane Recovery to get a number of spell slots back on your short rests equal to half your wizard level, letting your cooldowns reset as you respawn. Since we multi-class spellcasters, check page 165 of the Player's Handbook to figure out how many spell slots you have at any given level. Second level wizards can choose a school, and necromancy is basically a medical school that doesn't believe a soul exists. You get Grim Harvest, meaning when you kill someone with a spell, you get double the spell's level back in HP, or triple if it's from the school of necromancy. Ray of Sickness is currently your best option for that since it doesn't work with cantrips. We'll get something really good later for this, don't worry. For this level spell, Jump triples your jump distance for a minute, helping you hop around the map if you need to, and Sleep puts 5d8 worth of HP to sleep in an area, no saving throws necessary. You could put people to sleep before surgery, but I don't know, that's a whole spell slot. Maybe just ask them politely not to scream. Third level wizards can learn second level spells. Ray of Enfeeblement is a ranged spell attack that doesn't deal damage. Instead, it makes the creature it hits deal half damage with strength-based attacks until they can pass a constitution saving throw on their turn. Reinhardt's hammer hurts real bad, but if his muscles shriveled up inside that armor, it wouldn't hurt quite as bad. Gentle Repose stops a corpse from decaying or becoming a zombie for 10 days. Use it on a fallen hero. Cry at the funeral, then come back 4 days later with a shovel for a new test subject. It doesn't have to be a nice spell. Fourth level wizards get an ability score improvement. Let's invest in Constitution. Buffing your dexterity wouldn't actually help you if you're in medium armor, so Constitution is really the only thing we'd benefit from putting points in. For this level spell, Dark Vision gives a creature Dark Vision for 8 hours, no concentration required. It could be a little more useful than spending one of your infusions on Goggles of Night, but that's up to you. Enhance ability gives a creature advantage on checks of a certain type. If you choose Strength, it also doubles their carrying capacity. If you choose Dexterity, they don't take falling damage from heights of 20 feet or less, and if you choose Constitution, they get 2d6 temporary HP. Constitution is probably the most in character for you. Fill your friends with all that unnatural life. It lasts for an hour, depending on your concentration. Fifth level wizards can learn third level spells, also known as the coolest spells in the game. Vampiric Touch lets you use your monster hand to make a melee spell attack against creatures, dealing 3d6 necrotic damage and healing you half the damage you dealt. Because of Alchemical Savant, that's actually 3d6 plus 5 necrotic damage, and since you have higher level spell slots, you can jack that damage up even higher with an extra d6 per level you raise the spell. It lasts for a minute depending on your concentration, and will make you deceptively hard to take down, since you can basically heal around 10 HP per round while dealing 20 necrotic damage. Gaseous Form lets you turn into gas. You'll have a 10-foot flying speed, resistance to non-magical damage, advantage on strength, dexterity, and constitution saving throws. You can creep through the tiniest crack, but you can't attack or cast spells. Just use it to flee if you find out you can't actually out-damage the enemy's DPS. 6th level necromancers get Undead Thralls, giving you the Animate Dead spell for free, which turns a skeleton or a corpse into a skeleton or a zombie under your control for 24 hours. You can recast this to reassert control on up to 4 undead, and because of the Undead Thralls, 1 more every time you cast the spell. They also get to add your wizard level and temporary HP, and add your proficiency bonus to their damage, probably why Reaper can do so much damage. For this level spell, Stinking Cloud creates a nasty cloud in a 20-foot radius, forcing a constitution saving throw on creatures inside. Failing that, they're poisoned and have to spend their turns throwing up. It's gross. But stink bombs can be very effective. Haste doubles a creature's movement speed, adds 2 to their AC, gives them advantage on dexterity saving throws, and an extra action to dash, disengage, hide, dodge, use an object, or make 1 weapon attack. It lasts for a minute and actually won't be all that great for you since you use spells. Give it to Sombra or something. Just realize that when the spell ends, they'll need to take a round off of actions and reactions. You could also just use it on yourself to get out of dodge pretty quickly though. 7th level wizards can learn 4th level spells. Blight forces a constitution saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they take 8d8 necrotic damage, half damage if they succeed. I know there currently isn't a plant in Overwatch at the time I'm writing this, but plants have disadvantage on the save and automatically take maximum damage. So when Thatcher gets added in Overwatch 2, this will really mess her up. Dimension Door lets you teleport up to 500 feet as an action and even bring a buddy with you. I actually think that's a little bit long range for Moira, but hey, there's no rule that says I can't make these characters a little bit better, right? 8th level wizards get another ability score improvement. Let's keep investing in Constitution, giving us a better pool of health to heal up with our Vampiric Touch. For this level spell, I'll dip back to the 3rd level for Bestow Curse. I said it had all the coolest spells and I wasn't lying. Bestow Curse forces a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they have a curse that does one of a few things. You can give them disadvantage on a type of ability check, disadvantage on attack rolls against you, force them to make a wisdom saving throw every round or do nothing, or just take an extra d8 of necrotic damage when you cast spells or attack them. However you want to do it, it lasts for a minute depending on your concentration or until someone removes the curse. How about another 3rd level spell? Blink lets you shift in and out of the material plane at the end of your turns, rolling a d20 each time. On an 11 or higher, you spend the time between turns in the border ethereal plane, meaning nothing on the material plane can hurt you. It also doesn't require concentration, so can you imagine if you were fighting someone who you couldn't attack half the time, but heals themselves every time they hit you? Doesn't that sound just awful? 9th level wizards can learn 5th level spells. Cloud Kill creates a 20-foot radius sphere of poison that rolls forward 10 feet per turn. While inside, creatures have to make a constitution saving throw or take 5d8 poison damage, have as much on a success, lasts for 10 minutes or until a medium wind blows it away, but if you can just cast the spell and lock the door, everyone inside is going to die. I don't know how you get to debate the ethics of that, but I'm sure you will find a way. Far Step lets you teleport 60 feet per round as a bonus action every round for a minute depending on your concentration. It's great for getting back to the payload, but honestly I think Blink is a better way to teleport all around when you're actually in the fight. 10th level necromancers are a nerd for death, which is why you get the ability Inurd to Death, giving you resistance to necrotic and poison damage as well as immunity to hit point total reduction. Spend enough time doing weird experiments, eventually you're gonna try one on yourself. They call that the Spider-Man villain rule. For this level spell, Legend Lore lets you know more about a person, place, or thing of legendary renown. The more you already know about it, the more information you get. Pop on the wiki and figure out exactly what team Hanzo is actually on. Like, he's not working for the Shimada family anymore, but he also isn't on Team Overwatch. And also seems like he kind of wants to kill Genji again, but also doesn't. What's he doing? Telepathic Bond puts the whole team on team chat, connecting 8 willing creatures telepathically so they don't need to talk. But if they spam I need healing when you've blasted all your healing juice on them and threw a health orb, maybe just ask them to disengage every once in a while. It's not your fault they're playing with Reinhardt and they forgot how to use a shield. 11th level wizards can learn 6th level spells. Sunbeam lets you all that essence, firing off a 60-foot line of light that forces a constitution saving throw on creatures inside. Failing that, they take 68 radiant damage and are blinded for a round, half as much, and no blinding if they succeed. It lasts for a minute depending on your concentration, meaning that you can press Q and panic while you roast everyone with a Kamehameha. Create Undead is like Animate Dead but better, turning 3 corpses into ghouls, which are just better than zombies. They stay under your control for 24 hours. You can recast the spell to keep it all together, so you can have 3 zombie party members instead of just Reaper. Name them Reaper, Creeper, and Dot. Our capstone is the 12th level wizard. For one last ability score improvement, might as well grab more constitution, and otherwise the Warcaster feat or tough feats wouldn't be bad either. Really your choice. Sun's getting real low here. We already have all the spells I want. Maybe just get shield at 5 to your AC as a reaction, and 8 to give 3 creatures 5 more HP for 8 hours. I'm saving some time so we could talk about the Way of Mercy Monk. Hey, let's talk about the Way of Mercy Monk. I said it would make a good Moira in the video where I reviewed it, but here's the thing. I lied. Way of Mercy Monk can't teleport. It can't hurt the enemy and heal itself with the same move. It can't heal people at a distance. It can't make a ranged nasty ball. And it can't fire a giant laser. So really, the only thing it has in common with Moira is one hand deals damage and the other one heals. But other than that, it doesn't do anything Moira would do and would put more emphasis on dexterity and wisdom, leaving our lead scientist with lower intelligence. So, as is often the case, the reason we didn't choose the obvious class is because I thought about it for more than 10 seconds. But now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, fighting someone with Blink and an 8th level Vampiric Touch sounds like the worst thing imaginable. You'll be dealing 8d6 plus 5 necrotic damage per round, healing half of that, and only being in the material plane 50% of the time to get hit. You'll also come with a bunch of your unethical experiments, forcing your foes to deal with a couple of undead as they fight you as well, using them as walls, using them as distractions, using them however you want. They're your babies after all. Finally, you can teleport, which means that you can take fun shortcuts on maps using your mobility options. For weaknesses, you're not very strong. Someone could knock all 20 pounds of you off a cliff with a gentle breeze. You're also pretty dependent on necrotic damage, and several things in the monster manual resist or are straight up immune to it. Finally, low charisma means you might not do the best job explaining why you need to run experiments on everyone in a local cemetery. But don't stress too much about that. If good guys won't let you be a mad scientist, you can always find some villains who will appreciate you. Sap people's life, blast all around the battlefield, and do some other third thing. Oh, heal your team! Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Nightwolf or Kotal Khan from Mortal Kombat, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.